Why is motorcycling considered serious fun? Serious because risk is involved, fun because riding a motorcycle is a joy. Learning to ride and ride well requires what physical traits? Clutch and throttle coordination, straight line riding, stopping, turning, and shifting. What do rider coaches do? Guide you and answer questions. What are the 4 requirements for successful course completion? Complete all assignments, attend all sessions in their entirety, pass a knowledge test, and pass an on-motorcycle skill test. When does a rider coach not permit further riding in the course? If you have a lot of difficulty or become a risk to yourself or others on the riding range. What are the 3 basic motorcycle types? Street, dual purpose, and off-highway. Pick the motorcycle type you would likely ride and explain why. Varies. List the 6 primary controls. Handlebars, throttle, clutch lever, gear shift lever, front brake lever, rear brake pedal. How do you operate the motorcycle's throttle? To increase engine speed, twist it toward you, and to decrease speed, twist it away from you. What does the clutch lever do? Connects power from the engine to the rear wheel. How is the gear shift lever operated? Lifting up with the left foot firmly to reach a higher gear, pushing down firmly to reach a lower gear. What is a shift pattern? First in, second, third, fourth, fifth. How are the 2 brake controls operated? Front brake squeezed in right hand, rear brake pushed down by toes of the right foot. What are possible positions on the fuel valve? On, reserve, prime or off. What are possible positions on the ignition switch? On, off, lock, some have park. What is the choke control used for? To help start an engine cold, raises the idle so it will warm quickly. Why does a motorcycle have an engine cut-off switch? So you can shut off the engine without removing your hand from the hand grip. What are some common indicators that display information? Speedometer, odometer, tachometer, indicator lights. What is important to know about a convex mirror? Help you see a wider view, but objects are closer than they appear. What is the difference between a side stand and a center stand? Side stands are only one side. Center stands stabilize from both sides and lift the rear tire slightly off the ground. List the 5 steps of the engine pre-start routine. Find C. 1 fuel, 2 ignition, 3 neutral, 4 engine cut-off switch, 5 choke clutch. What are the 3 steps to follow when shutting off the engine? Thumb, key, valve. What is the friction zone? Small area in the travel of the clutch lever that controls the connection between the engine and the rear wheel. What does squeezing the clutch lever do? Removes power from the rear wheel. What must you do if you start to lose control of the motorcycle? Clutch, brake, engine cut off. What is the position of the right wrist for good riding posture? Fingers around the throttle and the wrist flat. What are the other elements of proper riding posture? Back straight, head and eyes up, both feet on footrests and near the controls, knees and elbows in, arms relaxed and bend. How do you initiate motorcycle lean at speeds faster than walking speed? Pressing forward or down on the hand grip of the same side you want to turn. What are the 4 action steps from making a basic turn? Slow, look, press, roll. What is the 3-step strategy for curves and what does each step mean? Search, set up, smooth. In what type of turn does counterweighting help? slow, tight turns like a U-turn. What gear should you be in when coming to a stop and why? First, so you can take off quickly if necessary. What is the benefit of squaring the handlebars when coming to a stop? The bike is easier to hold up. Why does the front brake have more stopping power than the rear brake? Because forward weight shift due to inertia pushes the front tire down on the road surface, giving it more grip than the rear tire. How does the motorcycle's weight shift during braking? Pulls forward due to inertia. How do you stop in a curve? Apply both brakes as you straighten the motorcycle, squeeze in clutch and downshift. Why do you change gears? To match engine speed to road speed. List the 3-step process to shift to a high gear. Roll off, lift, ease out. List the 3-step process to shift to a lower gear. Roll off, press down, ease out. What is engine braking? Shifting down one gear at a time and easing out the clutch through the friction zone between each downshift. What is the position of the clutch lever when coming to a stop? Fully squeezed. List the 4 preparations. Make sure you fit the motorcycle, inspect the motorcycle, use proper protective gear, give a good mental attitude with safety as your priority. How should your motorcycle fit you? 1. You can handle well, seat low enough so you can reach the ground, right for your strength and skill level. What is T-clocks and what does each letter stand for? A provide inspection list. T equals tires and wheels, C equals controls, L equals lights and mirrors, O equals oil and other fluids, C equals chassis, S equals stand. List the 3 primary purposes of riding gear. Protection, comfort, visibility. What does ATCAT mean? All the gear, all the time. What type of injury accounts for the majority of motorcycle-related deaths? Head injury. What are the 4 basic parts of a helmet? Outer shell, impact-absorbing liner, comfort padding, retention system. What is the difference between a full-face coverage helmet and 3/4 coverage helmet? Full face protects the jaw and teeth. What stickers are likely to indicate a well-made helmet? DOT, SNEL, EC. How should a helmet fit? Snugly, no irritating pressure points, doesn't rotate around here or roll off when you look down. What are some tips to care for a helmet? No harsh chemicals, camp cloth to clean, place bottom side down, don't drop it. Are ordinary glasses or sunglasses alone sufficient eye protection? No, stuff gets inside. What types of eye and or face protection can a rider choose? Face shields or goggles. Name 4 considerations about eye and face protection. Shatterproof blocks wind dust pebbles may come off tinted lenses in the nighttime. What is the value of appropriate footwear? Protection from debris and hot exhaust provides traction. What features of a full-fingered glove help a rider? Good fit, sturdy, outside seam, naturally curved, full fingers for protection. What is the value of motorcycle-specific clothing? Fits in the riding position, longer sleeves and legs, fuller shoulders, non-flap design, built-in protection, zippers and snaps. How can motorcycle riding gear make you more visible? Bright colors, reflective vest tape piping. What are some features your gear should have if you are riding in rain or cold weather? Elastic around legs, sleeves, waist, high visibility, high collar, wide flaps. Define hypothermia. Subnormal body temperature that causes loss of concentration, slowed reaction time, and poor muscle control. What is wind chill? Chilling effect of the wind causes temperatures to feel colder. What is the value of dressing in layers? You can remove items and adjust to conditions as long as you have a place to store them. What should you be cautious of in hot weather? Dehydration and sunstroke. In what way can riding a motorcycle affect hearing and what can be done? Hearing is lost due to wind and engine noise. Wear earplugs or a full helmet. What does it mean to have a good mental attitude? To make safety your number one priority, not to be distracted, to be mentally ready, not tired or stressed, and confident in your skill. Where do most crashes occur? At curves and intersections. Name 3 reasons why riding a motorcycle involves more risk than driving a car. Less stability, more vulnerability, less visibility. What is the primary cause of motorcycle-related crashes? Many factors together. What questions help you think about the risks of riding? How good am I as a car driver? Have I had many near crashes? Do I brake hard often? Am I easily distracted? Have I lost many points on my driver's license? After learning to ride, why is safety more about mental skills than physical skills? Because mental skills determine physical skills, we need a high awareness and judgment as well as lots of confidence. List the 3 key safety margins. Riding skills, traction limits, time and space cushion. What are 5 characteristics of a rider who manages risk properly? Knowledge, skills, attitude, values and habits, safety and responsibility. What does it mean to have good risk offset? The skill you have exceeds the risk you take. What does it mean to have good lane choice? Don't change lanes often. You can see and be seen. You allow a space cushion, reduce conflicts, and consider escape routes. What is the purpose of using 3 different positions within a lane? To see and be seen and to avoid hazards. What is the starting lane position? Far left. Name 3 smart ways to be more visible to others in traffic. Clothing. Imagine bird's eye view. Ride with lights always on. Signal and communicate. Flash your brake lights. Use your horn. What are the 3 visual lead times of rider radar? 2 seconds, 4 seconds, 12 seconds. Why is the 2-second following distance considered minimum? Because it should be longer if other factors are unsafe. How are the 4-second urgent time distance and total stopping distance related? Ensures time to react before the actual stopping distance. Name the 3 parts of total stopping distance. Perception, reaction, braking. How can you reduce total stopping distance? Don't follow so closely. Think ahead about what you'll do in an emergency. Play the what-if game. Adjust lane position. Use your eyes, mind and stay alert. What does it mean to search? Scan far and near, side to side. What are the 4 search categories? Traffic controls, roadway users, road conditions, escape paths. What does it mean to evaluate? Think about what could happen. What are the 3 action steps of execute? Adjust speed, adjust positioning, communicate intentions. What are some environmental conditions that may be hazardous and what can you do? Moving hazards, fixed hazards. What is an escape path? A path that is open and allows you to avoid a collision. What is the danger with target fixation? You could crash into what you're staring at. Where's the greatest potential for conflict between a rider and other traffic? Intersections. What is 360-degree awareness? Being aware of traffic ahead, behind, left, and right. What is presentation? Lane position where others are best able to see you. What does it mean to open up the view? Use a position to see and be seen in both directions. Why is turning from a stop an important skill? Frequency of need. What are some tips for turning from a stop? Lane position, turn handlebars and lean motorcycle before starting, position yourself at an angle, manage clutch and throttle. What are some hazards between intersections? Vehicles pulling out of parking areas, backing out of driveways, car doors opening, people, animals, bicycles and other vehicles. In what ways do cars and motorcycles have blind spots? Beside and behind you. What is the no zone? Blind spots around large trucks. Be ready for air turbulence and leave lots of space. What is the proper technique for lane changes? Check the space. Use a head check, signal, cancel when you enter the new lane. What are some things to be aware of when merging? Traffic behind you. Match the speed. Have an escape path. Use good lane position for visibility. When merging onto a freeway, why match speed to traffic flow? So you're not too slow or fast to enter the lane. What are the three curve types? Constant radius, increasing radius, decreasing radius. What are the three curve parts? Entry, apex, exit. What are the three lane positions used for curves? Outside, middle, inside. What are some factors to search for when approaching a curve? Roadway warning signs, posted speed limits, obstacles ahead. If you can't see the exit, predict the curve radius tightens up. Consider potential of oncoming traffic, factors that could affect speed and lane position, surface conditions, ground roadway. What should be assumed about a curve if you cannot see to its end? That it gets tighter. What is the advantage of using a delayed apex in a curve? Allow you more time to see the road ahead. What are some tips for making a low-speed U-turn? Very low speed. Use friction zone throttle rear brake. Use counterweight method. More pressure on outside footrest. Turn handlebars before moving. Know that a sudden increase of speed will straighten motorcycle. Touch foot to ground as needed. Power walk or stop and back up before finishing turn. What makes starting out on a hill more difficult? Have to get onto throttle quickly. Why rise off the seat when crossing an obstacle? More shock absorbing. How is the throttle used when crossing an obstacle? As a blip to extend your front fork. Why park with the front wheel facing out of a parking space? Allow you to pull out easily with a better view. What are some tips for keeping your motorcycle secure while it is parked? Lock the forks, take the key, turn the handlebars all the way left, use a quality lock and chain through your frame, consider an alarm, leave motorcycle in first gear so it's less likely to roll. What is a proper technique for passing and how are lane positions used? What is a good way to respond to a tailgating driver? Increase distance from vehicles ahead of you, use brake control, flash brake light, change lanes or turn off the road, keep an escape path open to the left or right. List a few tips for riding at night or in limited visibility conditions. Wear bright, reflective clothing, use high beams, use lights of other vehicles to see what is ahead, watch for tail lights that bounce, flash brake lights when slowing, add lighting to your motorcycle. What does it mean to override the headlight? When total stopping distance exceeds distance of the light. Why should you have good basic skills before riding in a group? You need to ride your own ride and not worry about matching their skill level. What is the benefit of knowing group riding signals? Everyone can communicate. When would you use staggered side-by-side or single-file riding formations? Almost always use staggered unless you're forced to use single-file. Side-by-side should be avoided. What are some things to avoid when riding with others? Engine braking, target fixation on other riders, pass individually not as a group. If separated, ride your own ride to the next meeting spot. Be predictable, extra caution on right-hand curves. What are some personal considerations when riding in a group? Ability and skill level, experience. How will you find out your motorcycle's type of braking system? Read the manual. What is the best way to achieve the shortest braking distance in a straight line? Use the clutch and both brakes. What is threshold braking? Braking without skidding. What complicates an emergency stop in a curve? Have to use available traction. What are two methods of braking in a curve and when might you use each? 1. Straighten up then brake. 2. Apply some pressure then use more as the bike straightens. What should you do if the front tire skids because of too much brake pressure? Release the front brake lever, get the front wheel running again, then reapply it with a gentle squeeze. What should you do if the rear tire skids because of too much brake pressure? Keep pressure on brake pedal. Maintain balance. Keep hand and eyes up on original path of travel if in line with the front wheel. Release pedal and reapply as needed. Why is it a good idea to avoid using the brakes during a swerve? Can cause the tires to lose traction. What is your body position during a swerve? Torso upright, knees against tank, feet on footrests. Look toward a clear path. How do you know whether to brake first or swerve first for an emergency? Whichever way better avoids the obstacle. Why is a surface most slippery as it begins to rain? The oil and dirt mix with the water. What is hydroplaning? Water builds up under the tire contact patch and results in a loss of traction. List 3 road surface conditions that could affect traction. Warm pavement, loose debris, cracked sealant and tar strips. How can you adjust for the effects of surface hazards and or reduce traction? Reduce speed, minimize lean, increase space. How can a crown road affect riding? May not be able to reach your feet to the ground. Why is it a good idea to gain experience before carrying a passenger or heavy cargo? They affect the way a motorcycle handles. It's harder to start when you're stopped. Takes longer to get up to speed. Brake pressure change. What should happen as a passenger mounts and dismounts? Driver should have both feet on the ground and the front brake lever applied. What are some tips for your passenger while riding? Hold on to your waist or hips. Keep feet on footrests at all times. Keep hands and feet away from hot areas. Turn your head in direction of the turn. Avoid leaning too much or turning around. Rise slightly off seat when crossing obstacles. What can be used to fasten cargo? Tank bags, backpacks, saddlebags, web straps, bungee cords, cargo nets. Where can you find your motorcycle's load limit? In your operator manual. What are some tips for carrying cargo? Make sure it's evenly balanced, low and close to the center of the motorcycle. Don't block lights. Why should new riders limit long-distance riding until they gain experience? Physically demanding. What are some special considerations for touring or riding long distance? Extra food, water, may not have cell phone coverage. Let people know your plans. Maybe take GPS. What can you do to avoid fatigue and maintain health when touring? Get rest, take frequent breaks, eat and drink well. Where might you encounter wind, gusts, or turbulent air conditions? open areas, mountains around big vehicles. How should you adjust for windy conditions? Press the appropriate hand grip and adjust your path. What is a good strategy to get by a dog that might chase you? Go slow, downshift, then accelerate past it. What are some maintenance issues that could lead to an emergency? Tire failure, stuck throttle, clutch cable, weave and wobble, drivetrain problem, engine seizure. What are the first abilities affected by alcohol? Judgment and vision. What other abilities are affected by alcohol and drugs? Search, evaluate, execute. How much beverage alcohol equals 1 drink? 12-ounce beer, 1.5-ounce liquor, 5-ounce glass of wine. How fast is alcohol eliminated from the bloodstream? 1 drink per hour. Why should you avoid riding with passengers or others who are impaired? They can cause a crash. What are some drugs that affect the ability to ride safely? Depressants, stimulants. How long will it take for the effects of drugs to wear off? Unknown, it varies. What happens if alcohol and other drugs are combined? Effects can be compounded. What is the best way to approach intervention and what are some other intervention methods? A group of riders working together, call a cab, slow the pace of drinking, delay departure, provide alcohol-free food and drink, keep motorcycle parked and secured, take the keys. What besides alcohol and drugs can affect riding safely? Distraction, fatigue, emotions, age. What are some factors that contribute to distraction and/or inattention? Cell phones, talking, eating. What contributes to fatigue or drowsiness and what effects does fatigue have on riding? Lack of sleep, long work days, dulled senses, less likely to recognize hazards, dull decision-making, slow SCE. What problems may be caused by over or underconfidence? Over leads to aggressive riding and putting yourself in a situation you don't have the skill for. Under delays decisions. How can rider performance be affected by aging or health problems? Poor vision, less strength, slower reaction time. What does riding at the limit mean? High-risk riding, staying near or at the limits of crashing. What is rider character? Choosing to do the right, safe, responsible thing.